gentle, sweet, or beautiful. And sure, women enjoy that. But the truth is, it only scratches the surface. What really excites a woman is when a man notices her dangerous side, the part of her that isn't soft, that isn't safe. The part of her that's sharp, unpredictable, powerful. See, most guys play it safe. They give the easy compliments, your smile. Wrong with that. The second they're spoken, the moment you look at a woman and let her know you see the edge she hides from the world, the hunger in her eyes, the chaos in her energy, the storm she keeps locked under her skin, everything changes. That's when she feels a jolt of recognition. That's when she thinks, he actually sees me. I remember once, a woman told me something that stuck with me ever since. She said, "Asked guy wants to call me beautiful. That they say? Easy. But what really gets me, it says, I see the fire in you. And do you understand how powerful that is? To not only notice the side she keeps hidden, but to praise it. See the danger in you. And instead of being afraid, I'm drawn to it." That kind of compliment lives inside her long after the words leave your mouth. Because here's the truth. Every woman has shadows. Every single one. She has a side that's ambitious, ruthless, passionate, untamed. A side that could burn down a room if she chose to. And most men, they shy away from it. They act like it isn't there. Or worse, they try to soften it, tame it, make it smaller. But that darkness, that's part of her essence. And when you have the confidence to stand in front of it, acknowledge it, and tell her it excites you, you separate yourself from every man who only sees the surface. You don't tell her she's just sweet. You tell her she's powerful. You don't just call her pretty. You tell her she's dangerous in the most beautiful way. You don't just admire her smile. You admire the sharpness behind it. Think about how that lands. Imagine telling a woman her eyes that could, and I like it, or, but would be afraid of. But to me, it's magnetic. Those words aren't safe. They aren't predictable. They're risky. And that's exactly why they hit her so deeply. Because women are used to being seen as light, but what they crave is to be recognized as whole. Light, softness, and danger. Sweetness, and chaos. When you give her that recognition, you're giving her something far more valuable than flattery. You're giving her permission to exist as she is. And here's the secret. When you acknowledge a woman's darkness, she doesn't feel judged. She feels free. She feels powerful. She feels desired in a way that goes beyond the surface. Because you're not just praising what makes her approachable, you're praising what makes her unforgettable. Most men will never touch that part of a woman. They'll keep complimenting the safe things. Darkness scares some people. They know their ambition, their intensity, their unpredictability makes people uncomfortable. But when you say it's the very thing that attracts you, you flip. Suddenly, her greatest transformed into her greatest power. So if you want to stand out, if you want to say something that lingers in her chest long after you're gone, don't just compliment the safe side of her. Compliment the side that makes her dangerous. Tell her her darkness inspires you. Tell her her fire pulls you closer. Tell her the chaos in her doesn't scare you, it excites you. Because the truth is, women don't just want to be adored. They want to be respected. They want to be recognized as whole. And when you can hold space for both the beauty and the danger, the softness and the storm, you're not just giving her a compliment. You're giving her something she'll never forget. The feeling of being fully seen. So the next time you're tempted to go with the easy line, stop yourself. Don't just tell her she's beautiful. Look deeper. See the edge in her. See the danger. It's the part of you I can't get enough of. Because when you praise her darkness, you're telling her you can handle her truth. And that more than anything else is what makes you unforgettable.
You know, we often look at a woman and admire her mystery, her depth, that wild, untamed beauty she carries. But the truth is, what we see in her exists within us too. That same fire in her heart, it lives in ours, just buried beneath layers of logic, armor, and silence. We might call it purpose or drive, but it's the same raw, sacred energy that pushes life forward. When a man learns to love a woman's depth without fear, he's really learning to love his own. She becomes a mirror, reflecting back everything he's forgotten about himself. She reminds him of the poetry he buried under his daily routines, the emotions he locked away behind pride, the tenderness he mistakenly saw as weakness. She brings him face to face with his own humanity, and in that moment something ancient awakens within him. Her power isn't meant to compete with his, it's meant to complete him. Her emotion doesn't threaten his strength, it awakens it. Her darkness doesn't swallow his light. It teaches him how to shine without burning out. Together they become a perfect balance in motion, stillness and storm, gravity and flame. And maybe that's what the world has been missing all along. The understanding that masculine and feminine are not opposites, but echoes. They are two different languages telling the same story of creation, two halves of the same heartbeat. When we stop trying to dominate one another and start learning from each other, a beautiful harmony returns to the world. That's the moment a man stops fearing emotion and starts respecting it. That's when a woman stops apologizing for her strength and starts embracing it fully. That's when love stops being a battlefield and finally becomes a bridge. In her fire, he finds his courage. In his calm, she finds her peace. Together they build something that doesn't need words to be understood. A silent resonance that simply says, I see you, I feel you, I am with you. Perhaps it's never been about power or control. It's always been about connection, real, raw, human connection that stretches beyond our fears. The kind of connection that doesn't flinch when it meets the truth but leans into it. Because she isn't dangerous. She's divine. And he isn't her opposite. He's her mirror. When he can stand in her presence without trying to fix or contain her, when he can look into her eyes and recognize the same depth that lives inside him, something timeless awakens. It's not about man above woman or woman above man. It's about two powerful forces meeting in perfect balance, both fierce, both gentle, both sacred. In that sacred space, love stops being a transaction and becomes a transformation, burning away everything that's false and leaving only what's real. So let the world keep fearing the fire. Let them call it chaos. You'll know better. You'll have seen what happens when light meets light, when strength meets softness. You'll have seen that real love isn't about taming or conquering. It's about remembering. Remembering that darkness is not the absence of light, but its partner. Remembering that true presence isn't about control, but connection. And remembering that to see her fully, you must first learn to see yourself. Once you do that, you stop running from her shadows because you've made peace with your own. You stop fearing her fire because you've learned to carry your own flame with grace. And you stop searching for balance because you've finally become it. And that's when the dance truly begins. That's when everything softens and falls into place. That's when love, in all its wild, sacred, electric truth, finally feels like coming home. You know, we often look at a woman and admire her mystery, her depth, that wild, untamed beauty she carries. But the truth is, what we see in her exists within us too. That same fire in her heart. Thank you for joining me on this reflection today. If this resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the deeper connections in life. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me.